Hello again, folks. It's Duncan with 3 as an Eagle. Thursday afternoon, June 6th. So I'm actually extremely tired. For the last several days, I've been really working to get this foundation ready for the backfill, and that means installing all of this foam board, 3 inches of styrofoam all the way from the top to the bottom of the foundation. I'm going to get over into the edge here. So if we look down there, you see the footing. The black area at the bottom is the part of the footing that sticks out beyond the foundation. That was all sprayed with an asphalt product to seal it. And after that, I applied this foam board and glued it on with an adhesive and braced it. As you can see, I'm going to come around this side. So this is a little bit redneck, honestly, but it works. I had a lot of scrap lumber my brother had, plus some furring strips and 2x4s that I bought. So when you put the foam board on there with the adhesive, there's a number of little tricks to make sure it works well. One is to take 2x4s and just slam the foam with a big hammer and a 2x4 to kind of make it conform to some of the unevenness on the foundation. When they strip the forms, there's a lot of little bumps, which I'll look on the inside. You'll see some of these on the inside. Just little bumps where the forms join, and there's metal rods that go through to connect the forms and make everything stay tight while they do the pour. But once the forms are off, the concrete isn't totally smooth, so if you slam the foam against it pretty hard, you can make it absorb those little bumps, and that way the adhesive actually gets a chance to stick. So anyway, that being done, then it's braced, and I tend to brace it along the seams every 4 feet and against the ground, and that way it holds it there. So this I did this morning, so I want to leave that until tomorrow morning. These other areas you see I stripped this morning. I took all the bracing off so I could reuse it on the next section, and so I'll walk around here, and you can see that the foam actually did it here well. I tried to yank some of it off. I didn't want it to come off, obviously, but now I'm confident that it'll do a good job of protecting against heat loss and moisture and water going in. I glued in between the sections with the adhesive in the hope that would maybe prevent water penetration. But the nice thing about this lot is generally the ground slopes away in almost all directions, and once it's graded, the dirt will go up close to the windows. Now as I come around here, what you're going to see is the next step that I want to get done on this was to put some cement board. I've never really liked, like, foam usually just comes up to grade on the foundation, and then above that is just bare. But being that this is going to be about 3 feet out of the ground, I really didn't want to have exposed foam or nothing there. I'm kind of going with this theory of thermal mass. So this entire foundation at the very ground level, the ground stays pretty warm, around 50 degrees year round if you're more than 4 feet down. So the idea being that if you insulate a whole foundation, it becomes a thermal mass that retains a certain amount of heat, and the ground heat comes up under it. So the cement board protects the upper few feet along here. You can kind of see the cement board. I actually spent the afternoon applying this. I had come out after lunch being quite tired. I really didn't want to do any more work, so I just ran up here with a chainsaw thinking I'll zip down some of the dead beeches and odd trees I don't really need here. And of course the chainsaw worked for about 5 minutes and decided it had other plans, so I decided to just tackle the cement board and see if I get anything done. Surprisingly, I was able to come up with a pretty good little system. I measured down the 3 feet from where the green plates are going to go and snapped a line across, and then applied some 2x4s with screws, and I knew that wouldn't hold very well, screws into soft styrofoam, but just enough to hold them in place till I could attach these legs. So I took a bunch of random furring strips and attached them to offer support off the footing, and it worked out very well. The cement board's quite heavy. It's probably about 80 pounds to a sheet, 3x5 feet, 1/2 inch hardy backer. So it's used on floors for tiling and such projects, but it's very useful stuff. fire resistant, weather resistant, and the nice thing is when you get done, this probably won't happen for a while, but the intent eventually is to go over this with some kind of parging or stucco-like product, some kind of exterior cement product, or even stone could be glued to this with thin set mortar. So that provides a protective layer that can be decorated later. For now, I just wanted to get it on there so they can backfill. I didn't figure they'd get here today or tomorrow, most likely because they were waiting on me. Tomorrow being Friday, if the weather holds, and it's been a bit iffy today. It's kind of sprinkled on and off throughout the day, so I got a little wet, but it's not a cold rain. Felt kind of good actually. Yesterday was gorgeous. I was out here all day working on foam, and I went through bottles of Gatorade and water. I was dehydrated. It was a hot day, but you know what? I got a major appreciation. If you look around here, all these beautiful maples. I'm very fortunate. I didn't realize when I bought this property that it had quite so many really beautiful maples on it, and these are tall trees. If I look up here, I mean, these are tall, and they scared me a little bit at first that maybe it would be bad to have all these trees, but you know, when the lot got cleared, they took out all the ones that looked unhealthy or at risk of falling on the house. So I'm building this house to ridiculous standards, so it'll be, well, not tree proof, but it would survive. It's a considerable impact, I think, when it's done. So anyway, that's kind of what I want to share with you today, just the progress that's been made. Then the next step, I'll have to continue this cement board. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get Austin, my son Austin, to come up and help, and we'll have a fair shot by the end of the weekend at having all the cement board on there and stripping all the bracing off. And when that's been done, they'll be completely ready to come in here and backfill, and when that's done, they'll be able to kind of reach in over the edge of the foundation and pour that slab, which will be the last major thing standing in the way of building. So anyway, that's where we are at, and I'll keep you posted, and I'll hopefully rest a little this weekend. Take care.